Hello, YouTube viewers, and welcome to my channel. What Shame Gang? Hello, guys. So, little disclaimer, I have 15% on my tablet, so I don't know how much video I'm going to be able to get out, but we're going to do what we can. Hopefully, it doesn't die before I'm done, but if it does, then you'll see a little snippet where I add in the rest of the video later. So we are tuning in to part 5 of how God confirmed that he wanted me to relocate to Georgia. Okay, so I didn't watch my previous video to kind of get a recap for this video, and it's a couple of days later, but I'm going to try to go off memory. I believe I left off pretty much talking about when I hit the road and the confirmations that I got along the way when I was on the road. And I pretty much talked, I ended with saying I packed my car up or whatever. Okay. So I missed an important part in the relocation. So before I hit the road on February 24th, around my baby's birthday, which was February 25th, I ended up going. So I wasn't going to do a party for my baby because initially whatever he wanted to do, that was what I was going to do. I wasn't going to do too much like every other year because, I was on this journey. I was tight on money, and I really wasn't in the mindset of trying to please everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because oftentimes for our kids' parties, we try to make sure that everyone's included, and we come out of our pocket with so much money trying to pay for people and accommodate them. But I wasn't in the headspace of doing that this year. So, this year, because it was early this year. So I pretty much was just like, if my baby don't want to have a party, that's cool. Like, I would just probably take him to like a little arcade place, and that'd be it. Probably invite a person or two, but I really wasn't too big on trying to include everybody this year because I was kind of used to doing that, and a lot of people would disappoint and not come. So I wasn't really in the whole headspace of going through that for his 10th birthday. So yeah. But I ended up taking him to the getaway, which I stated that in the last video. And then I want to say on the 27th of January, which was a couple of days after his birthday, he wanted to, go to like a jumpy place. So initially I was going to try to throw him a party instead of doing the getaway. But of course, the packages be like $500, child, for like 8 people. I didn't have the time for that. So I was just like, yeah, we're gonna keep it simple, and we just gonna go and just, I did invite a handful of people, and I paid for those people. Or the people that I didn't pay for, I just was like, listen, this how much your ticket is, go on this site, y'all can get a discount for this amount, and blase. So I went with a good handful of people, and so it took me some time to choose the place, but God had put on my heart to go to this particular bouncy place that me and my best friend used to go to when she would come into town for the summers, because she doesn't live in Illinois no more. So she would come into town to visit her parents, and it was a bouncy place in the suburban area that I was living in that they would always take the kids to, because they would buy like a package for the year, and it was kind of like a Great America season pass. So they was able to take the kids as many times as they wanted throughout the year or whatever, because they had like this pass that they had purchased. So God put it on my heart to go to that particular place, because the times we did go, it would be crowded, but not really, especially during the weekday. And it was a weekend, but I just decided to go there, and they did have like a little discount deal. So when I got there, it just so happened to be humping, like it was like super crowded. I was like, oh Lord, I shouldn't have came here. And so we ended up waiting in line, went to the front desk, showed our confirmation that we paid for the tickets. I'm not finna start this yarning, y'all. I was yarning like a crazy lady in the last video, and I am so sorry. I was so tired. But we ain't doing that in this video. So anyways, So I went to the front desk. Everybody checked in, got the socks or whatever, because most times we go to bouncy places, you have to purchase the socks there if you don't already have some from their, you know, um, company or whatever. If you visit previously and you got like socks left over, then that's cool. But we didn't have no socks, so we all stood in line and we paid for our socks or whatever. And then we all went to the gazebo, not the gazebo, the cubby area. The kids put their shoes and stuff in there, their coats, because like I said, it was winter time, and we kind of found us a little spot in the little bench areas, and we just sat down and we was kicking it. So we sitting there for about maybe 15 minutes, if that. And then I'm sitting there and I'm talking to my sister or whatever, and then all of a sudden I hear, "What's up, Tiara?" And I look, and it's my best friend's older brother. Now, mind you, around this time, me and my best friend was not communicating because we had fell out during the beginning of my journey, because like I stated way back in a couple of other videos, I felt like she wasn't really there for me as my friend. Like I felt like I just feel like she didn't really know how to be there, if that makes any sense. But I just don't feel like she was really supporting me like I would have supported her, meaning just being there emotionally or whatever. And so I hadn't been in communication with her, but I looked up and her brother just so happened to be walking in with his youngest son. And like I said, they got membership, so he just was able to just come in. And so I'm like, "What's going on?" or whatever. So I get up, give him a hug or whatever. He was like, "That's crazy, like that you up here." I said, "Yeah." So I was like, "It's Quanzil, talking about my baby." I'm like, his birthday was a couple days ago. He's like, "Oh, what's up, man? Happy birthday to him." So I called my baby from the bouncy area, told him to come and speak, and then because it was a trampoline place. That's what it's, I keep calling the bouncy house, but it was a trampoline place. So he came, he spoke or whatever, and then they went back to play. And his son went to go play with my people, because like it was a decent amount of us there. And so he sat down and we just started talking. And so he didn't know nothing about what was going on. Well, unless my best friend had told him, because like I said, we weren't in communication. But I didn't tell him, and it was it on social media yet? I don't think I released it to social media, because I was pretty silent about it at first. When I was still in Illinois, I didn't really release much until I relocated. So he just pretty much was just talking to me or whatever, and then he was like, yeah, talking about his house that he was getting built, and a TV show that he gonna be on, because the house is like a big house, and he gonna be on like a millionaire show or whatever like that, because he well off, he make great money, get his own businesses or whatever. And so I forget how we got on the subject, but he was just like out of nowhere, like he was just like, what, he's like, you ever thought about, he was like, where you should move, like if you ever want to move and start over, he was like, where you should move. I'm like, where? He was like, you should move to Georgia, you should move to Atlanta. And I just was like, I said, "That's crazy you say that." I said, "Why?" He said, "I mean, Atlanta's like the Black Hollywood." He said, he said, if I could ever, he was like, if I was to ever leave Illinois, that's where I would move. I would move to Georgia. He said, "Man, Georgia is like the Black Hollywood." You know what I'm saying? It's like so many of us go there and become successful, and you know what I'm saying? That's like the Black Hollywood for Black people. You get there and you get put on, you go move there and you get put on real quick if you get connected to the right people. And I say, "Yeah, that's what I heard. It's the land of opportunity." He said, "Yeah." So like he just kept on just like pushing it, like, "Yeah, like, what you got to lose, T? Like, just like, if I were you," he was like, if you ever relocate, I really think you should consider Georgia." And I'm just like, oh, "Okay, well, thank you." So, wrap that up. So boom, I brought that up to say this was literally when God confirmed to me that it was Georgia. I had knew it was Georgia at this point. He had gave me my date, which was February 24th. Because remember, I asked him for a time frame on January 23rd, 24th. It's January 24th, and he gave me a time frame. He told me when to hit the road, which would have been February 24th. And then, so I had already knew this, but God sent him, like, what are the odds that I go to this bouncy house place on the weekend, and then my best friend that I wasn't even in communication with, she don't know nothing about nothing, her brother walks in there, and then we just start having a random conversation about, just fresh starts and relocating. And then he brings up, first thing he says out of his mouth is Atlanta, Georgia. And I was just like, I didn't tell him that was actually something I was about to do. I just was like, oh, wow, interesting. Because I knew that, again, that was God using another being, another human being, to just send that confirmation and sow that seed. Right? So, fast forward. Blah, blah, blah. So, I ended up leaving my sister's house. My two exes called me trying to, derail me. Well, the other guy was not an ex. It was just somebody that I met that I cut off quickly. But one of my exes, so two guys from the past called me, contacted me, trying to derail me, trying to rekindle something. No, baby. No. And then I ended up going to my storage, putting everything in my storage, took the things that I needed. And then I filled up my tank and I hit the road. By the time I hit the road, it was a little bit after 6, going on 7 p.m. And as I stated in the previous video, I didn't get sleepy until about 7 a.m. the next day. So now we're looking at February 25th. God gave me supernatural strength and rest all the way to Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So I was cool as far as, my energy level or whatever like that. I was cool. So, hold on, y'all, because I forgot my phone and I don't know what time it is and I got to watch the time. So, okay, let me think. Okay, boom. So, I told y'all that I wasn't going to release the actual name of the hotel that God led me to until the next video. So, I ended up making it to Georgia. And when I was about an hour and a half, almost, probably like an hour and 20 minutes away from the destination, something was just like, turn on your Instacart app, right? And so I turned on my Instacart app because that was my means of making money. In my brain, I'm like, okay, Lord, my Uber account is still registered to Illinois. I would have to switch everything over. So what we doing? And so Instacart was the way. So I ended up turning on the Instacart app, and then these orders just get to coming out of nowhere. I'm talking about, I turn it on and it's like 20 orders sitting up there. I said, dang, okay, Georgia booming with the Instacart. And I'm like, Chicago, Illinois is very busy as well. Them metro areas be real booming with these apps. But I was shocked. It was just like orders near and far. And I was just like, okay, Lord. Okay, I see what you're doing. And so, again, I'm driving towards the destination. I ended up missing my exit initially, and it kind of made the time go up, and I kind of got a little irritated because I was tired, and I was definitely ready to stop driving because I drove, like I said, pretty much 12 hours straight. Okay. And so I got to the hotel, and when I arrived, I was sitting in the parking lot, and as I'm pulling up to the area, I'm looking around. I say, okay, wait a minute, Lord. What is this? This is looking real downtownish around here. You know what I'm saying? Downtown, like real uppity, right? So as I'm peeping, seeing, I'm like, wow, this is a very nice neighborhood. It's these real tall buildings. Kind of remind me of like downtown, and downtown Chicago. And I was just like, okay, well, this is a very nice high-end area as I can see. I was by 2 major expressways. So I'm like, okay, Lord, I see stores within walking distance, grocery stores or whatever, Publix. And so as I'm pulling up, I turn down the street, and it's businesses on the street, like office businesses. And then it was a Sheraton, and then the hotel that I went to. So as I pull in the lot, I'm looking like, okay, it's nice and quiet over here. You know what I'm saying? And again, as I'm on my way to this place, it says Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm like, wow, this is, I'm thinking like Chicago, like it's going to be raggedy and, towed down. Chicago is beautiful. You know, Chicago is huge too, depending on what side you on. But Chicago is beautiful, so I ain't gonna down my city. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, I wasn't expecting to pull up into, this nice area, and I ain't really peep scenery before I came. I just, God put the place in my path. I seen what it looked like on the inside, and I said that's enough for me, and I just came because, like I said, it was energy front loader washer and dryers, real nice, high end bougie type, right? And like I said, the washer and dryers were inside of the hotel rooms. So I was just like, wow, this is wonderful. I've never seen nothing like this before. So I pull in the lot, and as I'm in the lot, I'm like, okay, Lord, now what? And I hear him say clear as day, get out the car. Go in. Like, go in now. Like, I just felt this urgency to go in now. And I was just like, okay. So I just hopped out the car, me and my baby. And when I walked up to the sliding doors, I got through from the outside, but then the inside door was not opening. So this lady walked up, and she opened the doors, and she was just like, hi, how can I help you? And I was just like, hi. And I was like, is there a manager here? She was like, I'm the GM. How can I help you? And I was just like, well, she's like, so I was like, I'm just gonna be honest. I just came straight off the road. I'm here on the faith move. I came here with as much as I could load up in my car. I have under $200 in my account. Do y'all do daily? So before I went into that, I asked her, I said, hey, can I speak to is the manager here? She said, yeah, I'm the GM. How can I help you? And I was just like, well, I'm gonna just let you know right now, I just did a faith move off the road straight from Chicago. And I said this, then that's when I said, do y'all do daily payments here? She was like, we normally don't, but we do work with people. She was like, what's your situation? I said, well, again, I just did a faith move here. I got under $200 in my account right now. I see right now that the rooms is going for like 120 with taxes. But like what's the deposit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure it's an incidental or whatever. So she was just like, well, right now we got a special going on. If you stay past a certain time frame. And she was like, so how long you think you need to stay for? And so this date just came up in my head, and I was just like, August 1st. Mind you, it's February 25th. So I say August 1st. I don't know why I said it. It just flew out of my mouth. Now, my birthday July 30th. So I'm like, okay, well, let me just say past my birthday, because I don't really know what God has in store. I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but let's just throw a date out there. So I said August 1st. She said, okay. She's like, so you think you're going to be here that long? I said, well, I'm here to stay. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen between then and now, but, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going back to Illinois. I don't believe so. So she was just like, okay, cool, fair enough. So she was just like, she was like, you look like a very trustworthy, clean person. She was like, we normally charge $100 incidental. She was like, but I'm gonna waive that for you, because I don't know, it's just something about you. It's just telling me that, I could trust you or whatever. So I know your situation, and any way I can help, I will help. And then she was just like, and with you staying that long, she was like, I can actually fix your rate right now, since it's wintertime, to $79 a day. So I went from 120 to like 79. So I was like, really? She like, yes. And she was like, do you think that's something you could do? I said, well, yeah. She's like, well, so what is going to be your means of paying, since, do you have a job down here? I said, no, I don't have a job. I haven't worked a job since 2021, actually. I used to do Uber before I just moved here, and I do Instacart. And I was like, my plan was to do Instacart, you know what I'm saying, make money that way. And she was like, okay, so is Instacart pretty good? I said, well, it just depends, but I don't know how Georgia works, but we gonna find out. And she was like, okay, so you have a little under $200. She was like, so I'll waive the incidental fee, and that should give you 2 days. Like, you should be able to pay, like, 2 days up front. And I was like, okay, cool. So then she ended up putting me in the system. I booked the 2 days. And then she was just like, we don't have no rooms clean right now. I'm kind of short with housekeeping. So I know you just said you just got off the road, so I could try to, have one of my housekeepers. They coming in now, because it was like I said, it was 8 something in the morning. She was like, they're coming in now. I can have them go rush you a room to clean it or whatever so that you could, because I know you're tired and you probably ready to, get settled. And I was like, I truly appreciate it. She was like, you could just sit in the lobby and relax. We got a coffee machine over there, hot chocolate, computer, couch area, TV. We got games in there. So, it was like a nice little lobby situation. Like, we got a fitness center upstairs. She was like, so, you and your son could just relax. So I was like, thank you so much. So, I kind of just started crying a little bit because I was just like, Lord, God is so, like, man, God is so intentional with the fact that I said I literally came here. And when I came here, the rooms were sold out. And so she told me the rooms was sold out, but somebody had just canceled. So she was able to put me in a slot, in that slot or whatever. And so she was just like, so yeah, like you definitely lucked up when you came at this time. And she was just like, I normally don't even work on Sundays. She was like, and the fact that I'm here, I'm glad that I was here because nobody else would have been able to do what I was able to do. So like, just even in that, like, God was so strategic in everything. Like, had I not came on that day, I would have missed her because she didn't work weekends. Like, even when I was staying there, she barely worked weekends unless somebody called off. So even if I would have got there on Saturday, she wouldn't have been there. She just so happened to come in on a Sunday because she was short staffed. The person called off. So like, literally everything was so strategic. Like, had I not moved when God said moved, I would have missed my beat. And so, yeah, that was, and then she was about to leave for the morning too. So it was just, I don't know. It was truly a blessing. Like, God sent that gem in my life to be a blessing. And the whole time that I stayed at this hotel, like, that lady, like, was just so understanding and such a blessing to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and release the name now. I'm no longer in that area no more, but the name of that particular the name of that particular hotel was called the Water Walk. So yeah, crazy, right? So when I was on my way, I didn't pay attention to the name of the hotel. I kind of was just going. But when I got there, so boom, I get there, I had just felt the need to go. So when I initially came down here, my thought process was it was going to be a day by day thing, right? Just like it was when I was still in Illinois. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, boom, I need to be prepared for the worst, right? Although I had faith that God was going to go see me through, I just wanted to have one up, like, just in case. So I looked for a particular storage, which the storage was down the street. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to go to this storage unit and I'm going to see how much it costs. And then at least it'll be within distance. Like, it was like 2 minutes away from the hotel. So I was just thinking to myself, like, okay, boom, I won't be too far. I could put whatever I'm not using in there, and then as I need stuff, I'll just go and get it out. So I went to this particular storage place hoping to talk to somebody face to face, and when I got there, the place was closed. So it was like when I looked online, excuse me, you was able to check in, I believe, but you could do a check-in without the place being open. But I wanted to talk to somebody because I had a question about the rate that I had seen online, right? So I went to the storage place, and when I got there, they were closed. So then I was like, okay, Lord, well, this place is closed, so I'm gonna just go back to the hotel and I'm gonna be patient. So I went back to the hotel. My car was still full with all my stuff. And then when I got back, she was just like, so we got one of the rooms cleaned. They'll be done shortly. You can actually check into the room at like around 10:30 or whatever. Now, mind you, check-in ain't until 3. So she was able to get that room done right before 11, and she let me check in early, free of charge. So I went up in there and I cleaned the room down or whatever, and then I loaded my stuff in there. And then from there, I kind of just basked in God's presence, thanked him, cried a little bit, relieved myself, and then I took a nap. And so I woke up shortly after, because it wasn't like a long nap, and God prompted me to turn on the Instacart app, and so I did. And so I turned on the Instacart app. And when I turned on the Instacart app and I looked, it's like the map was illuminated. Like it was, the little dot on the map showing where I was illuminating the map. And so it was a Publix right there. And the Publix was illuminated. Like it was like kind of like glowing or whatever. It was like a yellow light around it, or orangish yellow light around it. And as I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, so is an order finna come through? Why is it doing that? And I just hear God say clear as day, look. So I glanced at the app a little harder, and I realized that the street and complex that I moved off of back in Romeoville was in the middle of the street. Like literally, my hotel was behind the street. So, because I was just stay like, Lord, just send me confirmation. Because I still was, like I said, I was toiling the whole time. I still be toiling to this day. Like, Lord, I don't know. I'm being honest. We human. But I'm still like, okay, Lord, send me a confirmation that, this is where you want me to be. And so that's when I was prompted to open the app. When I opened the app, I seen that it was that it was illuminating, like it was like, and the public store that was illuminated, the street was literally off to the side, and my hotel was, like I said, right behind that street. So that street was like a block over from where the street that I was staying on. And so I looked and I said, no way, Lord. So the fact that he led me is it thousands of miles? I want to say Georgia is. I don't know, y'all. I ain't got my phone. I done left it in the doggone house. But he led me all these miles away just to place me right on the street or near the street that he misplaced me from. Ain't that crazy, y'all? So the hotel that he led me to when I first came here, the street that I moved off of, the place where I lost everything, was literally in the same vicinity, the same street name. And this ain't no common street like, state or nothing like that. Like it was called High Point. I'm gonna just say that, which I think I said that in the first video. So I was just like, Lord. So I instantly just started crying, like, and just, in awe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not every time you cry, it got to be something said. You just be so grateful, and just like, it just be the glory. Like God is so good, y'all. Like, so when I seen that, I was lost for words. And so, boom, orders started falling through. And when the first order I went to go do, guess what street it was delivering on? You guessed it. High Point, the street that I moved off of. So I ended up doing my first delivery. And so when I did it, so this one particular delivery that I did was an alcohol delivery. And so it was an older guy, and I met him. He was nice. He tried to offer me, a drink. I think it was like a juice or something, Gatorade or something like that. And he pretty much thanked me and gave me a 5 stars and left a comment and a review on the app. And so I ended up getting another order in a deeper part of Atlanta, like kind of like in Atlanta, the heart of Atlanta. It was a liquor store that I had to go to. And so when I got to this liquor store, the woman was just like, you doing Instacart? I said, yeah. So she was like, oh, okay. She's like, where you from? You sound different. I said, oh, I'm from Chicago. She said, for real? I'm from Chicago. I'm like, really? She like, yeah. She was like, I've been down here for such and such years. I think she said like 12 years or something like that. And she was like, but I still got family down there. They live in Romeoville. So I said, wait, what you say? She like, I got family that still live in Romeoville. So I just started laughing. She said, what? I pulled my ID out because I had to, of course, show my ID. And I set it on the counter. And she said, you lived in Romeoville? I said, I literally just did a faith move. This is my first day in Georgia. I just made it down here earlier today, 8 o'clock this morning. And I just relocated from Romeoville to Georgia on a faith move. She was like, oh, wow. She like, wow, God bless you. So how does it feel? I said, I'm just walking in obedience because I don't even want to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't know what God got in store for me, but I know it's great. This the first day, so, And I said, but the fact that I came to this liquor store to do this order, and you from Chicago, and then you talking about your people from Romeoville, and I literally just relocated here from Romeoville. What are the odds? Romeoville is not a common place to mention in Illinois. It's not. And she was just like, wow. So then she ended up exchanging information with me. She asked what I do for a living. I told her I had my CDL. She was like, oh, well, I know somebody that's starting their own transportation company, delivery company. She was like, so, like, if you looking for a job, she was like, I could put you in contact with them. Do you mind if I get your number? I said, sure. So I gave her my number. And then her name ended up being Tara, which is, my name is Sierra. So our names weren't too far off. And I was just like, all right, girl, well, it was nice meeting you. And so then I left. So I did a few more other orders. And then I ended up going back to the hotel. So as when I got back to the hotel, again, the name not registering to me, but then finally I was like, water walk. Who walked on water in the Bible? I don't want to lie, but I want to say.
So I went and did my research, y'all, and it's Peter. Always follow your first man. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name, but it was Peter who walked on water.
But remember when Jesus was walking on the water, when they was in the middle of the sea, and he started walking on water, and they was like, who is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't know who it was. And they thought it was a ghost or something like that. And I believe I'm telling the same story, because I think it was multiple stories when... No, I think this is the same story. Y'all should have grabbed my phone, because I really wanna... I don't want to butcher this story, but when Jesus was walking on the water, he told the man to step out of the boat off faith and walk on the water to him. And so he put his foot out on the water and he started walking. And initially he was walking on the water, but then when he started losing faith, he started sinking. And then God saved him. God came when he picked him up and he was like, ye of little faith. You know what I'm saying? Like, ye of little faith. Like, why did you stop believing, or whatever the case may be? And so the fact that I did this faith move just came with no itinerary, no, like, nothing. Just came off faith, bro. And then he sent me to a hotel called Water Walk. Man blowing. So again, I get to break it down crying, because I get the revelation instantly. Like, Lord, like, you are so intentional, but I am so ready for whatever you have in store, because I know it's something great. And so God used me in a lot of ways when I was at this particular hotel. Y'all, I'm in my car again, and it's starting to be a lot of traffic like last time. So, people be so nosy. So I'm trying not to get distracted. I'm trying to stay focused. But if y'all see me looking around, it's because I see somebody looking at me. Like, I could feel this person. They sit in their car, they done pulled up, and they just taking longer than they normally would to walk in the house. And it's like, just go in, bro. Like, what is you being nosy for? Yes, I'm in the car and I'm recording. Yes, mind your business. Sorry. So, I forgot what I was saying. I lost my thought. So while I was at this hotel, God used me in a lot of ways, right? And so a lot of I had got real close with the employees on all shifts. Like, they knew who I was. They knew me to just be this smiley, happy, positive person. I was always talking about God to them, whether they believed in him or not, just kind of sharing the fact that I came on a faith move or whatever. Sorry, y'all. I don't know if it paused, but my low battery just popped up. But I pretty much was sharing with everybody the testimony of me pretty much relocating here, whatever, on faith. And so me and the GM, I ain't gonna say her name because I'm gonna keep her name private, and then you'll know why later. But so me and the GM had got like real close, or whatever the case may be. And so over time, um okay, I'm jumping ahead. Let me back up. So boom. Um I was doing Instacart, right? I was doing Instacart pretty much every day. Some days I wasn't, because I didn't want to get back into what I didn't want to get back into was that mindset of I got to chase a dollar. Like, I wasn't trying to get back into that mindset because God was taking me out of that because he's the provider. I mean, not that he don't want us to, put work in, but chasing after money is not it. Like, God is the provider. God makes the way. It's no point of burning yourself out. You know what I'm saying? Because life could be so much easier if you just allow God to take the wheel. He will give you the blueprint to be successful, right? Not to say that you won't have trials or whatever the case may be, but he'll give you the blueprint to be successful, and you won't have to work as hard. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like I said, not to say that you won't have trials and tribulations, but what God has for you will come to you naturally. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be in alignment with his will for everything to fall in place the way that it needs to. As long as you being obedient, that's all that matters, right? And so obedience is a reward. So I'm at this hotel, and initially I didn't put my son in school right away. Okay. I know that in the future, God wants me to homeschool my son because of things that's coming. We definitely have to get in the habit as believers of building up our own communities and helping each other as believers. You know what I'm saying? Holding each other accountable and holding each other up. So I was thinking, okay, Lord, do I start homeschooling now, or what? And so initially when I first got here, I was like going and going to restaurants and stuff like that, doing stuff for my son. And then I was crossing paths and meeting certain people. So I had met this girl, and strangely enough, I was at a restaurant. We had like a little quick conversation. I told her I had just relocated here, and she was pretty much telling me that she homeschooled her son. And so, no, she didn't homeschool her son. She said she had a friend who was homeschooling her son. So I was like, okay, well, cool. Like, let's exchange information. And you pretty much could give me whatever information that I need, or whatever program that she used, so that I can use it for my son. And so we ended up exchanging information, and that was that. And so, like I said, I got down here February 24th. I didn't put my son in school until spring break was over with. So we pretty much was going into the end of the school year. And so let me lose my train of thought because I just had another distraction. So trying to think. Okay, so I was like kind of like battling with, like, okay, Lord, do you want me to put my son in school this school year, or should I wait, or what? And so I'm like, okay, well, he needs to be able to pass on to the 5th grade, and without, because he had already been out of school since winter break. So now we going into April at this point. Because like I said, I didn't put him in school right away when I came down here, because I didn't really know Georgia system, and I ain't trust it. You know what I'm saying? But then one day I went out, thought I was going to have me a little regular day of doing Instacart. And I hear God say clear as day, like, go look for a school. And I'm like, oh, Lord, not right now, please. And then I just felt this unction, like, just go. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go. And so I I went and I just started pulling up the schools. I ain't had no appointment or nothing. I just went up to the places. And the first place I went to, they turned me down. I was telling them that I was new here. I'm pretty much legally homeless because I'm in a hotel. I don't have like a permanent residency. They told me I had to go through a casework and blase. So pretty much turned me down. So the school that I was trying to avoid because of the obvious, that's where God wanted me to go. And so I went finally the same day. I ended up pulling up to this place, and so when I got there, it was just this feeling. When I got there, it just felt like this is it. And so when I walked into the lobby, the main lobby of the school, whatever, I talked to the person at the front desk, and I was just like, hey, I was looking to enroll my son into the school year, and they was just like, for 2024 going to 2025. I said no, for this school year. They was like, well, the school year is almost over. I said, well, yeah, I just relocated here, and I'm just trying to find a school to put him in, before the end of the year. And so the registrar came out and was like, well, come on, follow me back here or whatever. So I went to the back to meet with her. I met the principal, which the principal was black, the registrar was black. I'm like, okay. And so she pretty much started asking a little bit of my background. And so she told me, hold on one second, let me answer this call. So she was like, hello? She was like, yes, Miss Walker. Okay, da-da-da. And so she hung up the phone. And so I'm sitting there and I was like, was you talking to me? She said, oh, no, that was another Walker. She was like, so crazy thing, right? She said, I thought you was actually her. And I was like, She was like, I thought you were actually her, the one that was just on the phone. She was like, because do you know you're the third Walker today? You're the third Walker today that has came to enroll your child into the school. I said, huh? She said, you're the third Walker today that has called. Y'all all from 3 different states, 3 different grades that have tried to enroll your kids into this school. And I was like, wow. So I was just like, well, that's all the confirmation that I need. And she just was like, well, there you go. And so I just was like, wow, God, you are so intentional. So the name of the school that my son ended up getting enrolled to at that time is the name of the complex that I moved from. The name of the complex that God misplaced me from before I came to Georgia, that's the name of my son's school. So I'm like, Lord, shut up. Now, I don't mean that disrespectfully, y'all. I'm being sarcastic, but yes. So I'm like, Lord, so intentional once again. Very intentional. Very strategic. Just to show, like, yeah, this is me. I'm in this. All in it. My hand is all in it. So the lady was like, so when you want your son to start? I was like, when can he start? She was like, he can start tomorrow if he want. Let me tell y'all something. I ain't never known in the history of schooling for a school to just enroll your child off GP like that. They didn't know me from a can of paint. All I had was my ID. Okay. They allowed my son to start school the next day. No birth certificate, no shot records, no identification whatsoever. They just took my word that this was my son, this was his name, this is his grade. They ain't had no school records, nothing. No shot records, nothing. They allowed my son to start school the next day, gave him a brand new book bag full of supplies at the end of the school year. Mind you, it's pretty much the third week. It's the second week of August. I'm sorry, it's the second week of April. School let out in May. So, took my son to school the next day, and then I was in the car line day and morning and afternoon picking my son up, and I was just like, Lord, wow, the favor. Look at the favor. It's just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And so he ended up going to school, finished school, passed on to the 5th grade. I ended up meeting some very nice people. Caseworker was really nice. She ended up buying my son some summer clothes. Because I was telling her like everything I got is in storage. I'm down here depending on Instacart daily. I ain't got no job, woo woo woo. And that lady ended up getting my son brand new clothes for the summer. And I ended up growing a relationship with her. It was a caseworker or whatever through the school, and she was like so sweet, and she was just like, if you saying God sent you here, He gonna send a provision. She was like, don't grow weary, trust Him, and just go through the process. Like, God is gonna take care of you. He gonna see you through. And I was just like, you're right, absolutely right. And so um so I missed something. I left something out. So before school ended, okay, it came a time where um y'all, I got to wrap this up because I'm talking and I got to pick my son up from aftercare. So let's just end it there. Because we 45 minutes in, trying to make the videos a little shorter. So the favor was there as far as getting my son into school here in Georgia's schooling system. The area that God had sent me to when I initially came down here was Sandy Springs, Georgia, which is, it also shows up as Atlanta. So although God was telling me to go to Atlanta, don't always take things so literal, because when I would GPS to my hotel for places, it was showing up as Atlanta, but it was Sandy Springs, Georgia. And there's a lot of places in like Buckhead or like these rich areas that will show up as Atlanta, because somewhere on the tip of that city, you're like on the border of Atlanta. It's kind of hard to explain, but people who are from here knows Atlanta is not as huge as people think. It's the places around Atlanta. So like the metro area, Buckhead, Sandy Springs, Roswell, Dunwoody, like Peachtree Corner. So these these places that are surrounding um Atlanta, they show up as Atlanta. So although I was in Sandy Springs, on the map it was showing up as Atlanta. So God did not literally mean like the heart of Atlanta, like the hood of Atlanta, but I was literally in one of the richest God sent me to one of the richest neighborhoods in Georgia, bro. One day I just sat back and I just researched the houses in the area. I'm talking about these are billion-dollar homes. I'm talking about 7,500,000. I'm talking about millionaire houses. I'm literally staying in the heart of a rich neighborhood. So God knows exactly what He's doing when He's doing it. You just got to trust that He knows what He's doing. He knows all things. And if He is telling you to do a thing, don't question it. Although it may be hard for our human minds to fathom, you just have to trust Him. If God is telling you to do a thing and you know that He's telling you to do this thing, you just have to trust that He's going to protect you and that He knows what's best. So the fact that I was literally toiling with coming here, and I'm thinking Atlanta, like I'm thinking Chicago, like you finna send me to the hood. Like I don't want to go to the hood. I didn't escape the hood 4 years ago. I don't want to go back. And when I came, God literally had me situated in one of the richest neighborhoods in Georgia. Sandy Springs is literally listed as one of the richest neighborhoods in Georgia. I was literally 9 minutes away from Buckhead. Not Bankhead, Buckhead. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I will come back and do part 6 very soon. But I got to go get my son. So I pray that this message blesses you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please share. Don't gatekeep. Share with whoever you think needs to hear. Go ahead and share part 1 through 5 at this point so that they can hear the beginning from the end. But again, don't gatekeep. Share. Be a blessing to somebody today. Put a smile on somebody's face today. You never know what a person is going through. Just be kind, y'all. And again, I pray that this message bless you. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you all for all the support. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.